Hey, John Hickok here. Got a Winchester Model 92, and it is in fact a real Winchester. If you couldn't tell by the wear on it, this one goes back to the early 1900s. And this is one of Dad's guns, and it's actually one of my favorite guns that he owns. I mean, it's just the perfect Western lever gun in a lot of ways. And this gun is actually famous for doing a lot of time traveling in a lot of the Westerns that you'll see out there. Because I'll let you guys guess when this gun came out, the Model 92. Yep, you figured it out. 1892 is when this gun came out. And most Westerns usually take place, kind of in between the 1890s and the end of the Civil War. But they all have this gun, it seems like. These things always show up in Westerns. But it's probably just because they were available, when they were filming a lot of those back in the 50s and 60s and stuff, because they made these things for a good while after 92, several decades. So they were still being carried by people and still around. So it kind of makes sense. Try not to fault them for that too much, but if you know a little bit about guns, sometimes it's frustrating when you notice those anomalies, in movies. Like, oh, that gun didn't exist for 10 years. What's he doing with it, But anyways, great gun. I've always loved these things. And of course, it's kind of the little brother of the 1886, which is the chamber that, obviously a John Browning design. For those of you who don't know who John Browning is, you have a lot of reading and research to do immediately. Stop watching this video and go learn about John Browning. So I don't have time to tell you everything about him right now. But this is one of his designs, which it's got a load of magazine tubes, so I won't rack one in yet. But you see these two locking lugs up here. That was one of his designs, and the 1886 had this, and then, which is a bigger frame version of this, and then this is the little brother of that. So really cool gun. I've always enjoyed it. Before I shoot this thing, I want to remind you guys of the people that support this channel. SDI, check them out at sdi.edu. They're an online accredited gunsmithing college. They do some other things, the gun industry too. So check them out. That sounds like something you'd be into. And also Federal, appreciate them. They could keep us in ammo, which is expensive these days, so it really helps, make this whole project, easier for us to do and everything. And also, I wanted to let you guys know, for some of you guys that, follow the podcast, the Gun Culture Radio, and know more about things that I'm doing outside of just these YouTube videos, I'm going to be at Zanies in Nashville, the Nashville Zanies, on November 2nd. The show, it's probably going to start sometime around 7:30 or 8. You can go on their website. I'm sure they'll have something on there about it when it gets closer. But that's November 2nd at Zanies in Nashville. I'll be doing about 10 minutes of stand-up on that show. So if you guys want to come see me tell some jokes, then there's a chance. You probably don't, but there you go. It's there. It's there if you want to take it. Okay, let me shoot this thing. Start with a bowling pin. We recently got a bunch of those, and it's kind of fun because that's one of the things I grew up shooting. We always had tons of bowling pins when I was a kid laying around. You would have thought Dad owned a bowling alley or something. See if I can knock that one off. I can't, it's hanging there. Let's try, well, we're about to do a video on an AR, so we're going to be shooting a lot of those red plates over there. So I guess I won't shoot those, so we'll have to repaint them. Let's see, I'll shoot the propane tank hanging up there. One of the things that's really neat about this gun is that it's an actual original Model 92 made by Winchester, but yet it's chambered in .357 Magnum, which is part of why it doesn't cost $1 million. It's something you can actually afford to purchase because it's not totally original. It's been rebarreled. Forget what the original caliber was it was in. Of course, .357 Magnum didn't exist when this gun was made, but you know, based on the rounds that people shoot nowadays, it's so much more convenient to be able to just buy a .357 Magnum and fire on one of these things. So That's one of the neat things about it to me. I don't care that it makes it less valuable. It makes it more valuable to me. So really neat. Even though I didn't grow up with this gun, this isn't one Dad has had for a really long time. I kind of grew up shooting these things, and I've always admired them, especially his 1886. That's probably the design like this that I remember the most. But a lot of fun. I just love lever guns. I mean, if you watch much westerns growing up, it's just hard not to. They're so neat. Simplicity of them and the way they load just makes you feel like John Wayne. So I guess could be a good or a bad thing. All right. Let's see. I guess, you know what? I'll walk over there and paint one of those. I'm gonna shoot that one over there on the right. Can't see where it's going. There we go. I gotta load it one more time. How many rounds we got left in there? Just shoot what's left in this box. One thing that's neat too is, this one's I guess old enough and smooth enough where it doesn't pinch you at the loading gate. That's always annoying when lever actions do that. But this little trick that you may have seen us do in videos and talk about that ironically, I think both of us picked up from a Jimmy Stewart movie of all places. I think it was called Winchester 73. Came out in 1950, and in that movie, my whole life I'd always just load them like that, just push the round in one at a time. But in that movie, he was doing this. He would put the round in all the way to the back of the case and leave it like that, and then he'd grab another one and do the same thing. So he's never having to actually stick his finger down in the loading gate when it closes. So except on the last one. So it's pretty interesting. I don't know if that's something they actually did back in those days or what. Let's see. I'm going to try to actually use the sights this time and see if I can shoot kind of fast on some of these targets. That's another neat thing about lever guns is you can definitely pump out the rounds if it's a gun that works smoothly and they're used to. Which, that is not this gun for me. You can see it was kind of slipping out of my hand there. But just a really neat gun. Love shooting these things. Model 92. Again, it goes back to the early 1900s. This specific one, design goes back to 1892. But in a way, 1886, because it's essentially the same thing, just a little bit smaller. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. And again, if you guys want to come see me do stand-up or anything like that. One question I get is like, you do stand-up comedy, but you're not funny in your videos at all. Well, it's because I just have a few jokes, and I've only been doing it for a year, and I'm just not that funny yet. That's all. There's no reason to worry about that. But if you want to come see me do stand-up, though, you can follow like the Facebook, John Hickok Facebook, or I'll try to mention when I'm doing shows and stuff like that. In these videos, and you guys can decide if you think I'm funny or not. But I'll be at Zany's on November 2nd in Nashville. So if you want to see that show, check it out. And I'll talk to you guys later.